get your popcorn ready as we talk about ball. Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, and it's on. Get your popcorn ready as we talk about ball. Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, and it's on. And it's on. And it's on.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and you're listening to the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, the place to find my raw and uncut in podcast form. Let's start this episode off with a situation that occurred during the draft. Let's start this episode off with the whole Shadur Sanders situation. Cowboys Nation, I had somebody ask me how I felt about the whole Shedeur Sanders situation in my comments section. So I'm going to give you my whole raw and uncut on the situation. I warn you, there will be some racial undertones. We will be talking about race during this whole episode, so I need you to bear with me. But every talking head had Shedeur Sanders going to a team in the first round. From months ago, they had Shedeur Sanders projected to go in the first round to either the Cleveland Browns, the New Orleans Saints, the New York Football Giants, or even the Pittsburgh Steelers. When each team's time was on the clock, it came and went, and Shedeur Sanders remained undrafted. In the second round came and went, and it saw Shedeur Sanders not get drafted. But somewhere in the third round, Shedeur got a phone call from who everybody who saw the video thought was the owner of the New Orleans Saints, telling Shedeur Sanders that they may be looking to draft him with the next pick, that he has to be patient, he has to wait, and they're going to draft him. As we all know, Cowboys Nation, this was orchestrated by a couple of students, and the crazy thing is, they posted the damn video of them doing it. How stupid can you be, Cowboys Nation? So let's go ahead and take a look at this prank video real quick.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, they were waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing to you.
Hey, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it mean and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Why did he call?
What the fuck?
Hey, that's funny.
I don't know what that was.
This right here, Cowboys Nation, that should not be tolerated in the NFL. This type of prank on the day that could possibly change a player's life for the rest of his life should not be tolerated. Of course, the internet, which remains undefeated, found out who was behind the prank. According to College Transfer Portal's X account, rumor has it that Jax Albridge, son of Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Albridge, was behind the Shedeur Sanders prank call. This would explain how Shedeur's private number, meant only for NFL execs, got out. Well, everyone had a reaction to this prank, and a number of talking heads brought out the race card. They said that the reason why Shedeur Sanders didn't go in the first round was because he's a black man. The prank happened to him because he was a black man. You even had Skip Bayless chime in on how it was racist that no team picked Shedeur Sanders in the first round. Let's go ahead and take a look at that video.
So if it's not football, what is it? Are there racial undertones here? Racist undertones? You be the judge. Racism is so hard to sort of grasp and prove, but it just stinks. It smells of racist undertones, of too many white people in charge in this league who just roll their eyes at both father and son at Colorado.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, Cowboys Nation. The video that you just saw from Skip Bayless, was the dumbest reaction that you could have had to this entire situation. Not only is it the dumbest reaction you could have, Those same people are the ones responsible for putting the battery in Shedeur Sanders' back. That saw the flashing of the rollie in the visitors' team's end zone. That saw him meet Colorado State's quarterback at midfield to gloat about the Buffaloes beating the Colorado State Rams.
You that same nigga talking shit on Instagram. You talking on Instagram. All right, keep talking about business. You can't fuck with me.
I don't care if their quarterback was on Instagram talking trash. You need to rise above, Shedeur. You conduct yourself as a leader in that situation. Dap it up and walk away. That smile saying everything. Anyone who told Shedeur Sanders that he was in the right for doing that, you are the issue. Not only that, let's take a look at the combine interview that Shedeur Sanders gave, Cowboys Nation.
That's the plan. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me. Oh, nah, you know it. If you want to get in contact with me, it's easy. It's extremely easy, and everybody, my dad been in this space for a long time, so he ain't hard to find. My jury. Yeah, I can't live without a jury. You know, Dad had Deion Jr. wearing jury when he was 3 years old, so it's like it runs in the family. You know, one of the top quarterbacks or the top quarterback is what are y'all going based off of? Because I did it year after year after year, and you see the progression. So it's like obviously it got to be some type of external hate that you have for the family, for the last name, for anything, because I know I proved myself on the field.
Coming from a black man himself, none of this had to do with Shedeur Sanders being black. Let's keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. Let's not act as if this only happens to black players. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cooper DeJean's draft video from last year.
Hello? What's up? To who? Oh. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Who's this? Wow. It's a prank. It's a prank. Someone just put a prank on me. That's bullshit. I don't know. That's fucked up. Who was it? Some dude said it was with the Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to keep it 150,000 with you, Cowboys Nation. In a time where some would like to resort back to us drinking from different color-specific fountains, people want to say this had to do with race? Because Shedeur Sanders wasn't drafted before the 5th round, it's because he's black? Really? We pulling out the race card because of that when we could pull out the race card for police brutality and a whole gang of other things? Let's not mention the fact that the first overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft was a black man. Not to mention that 26 out of 32 players drafted in the first round were either black or brown faces. How can Skip Bayless or anybody say that it was because Shedeur Sanders is a black man and not because of the way he conducts himself as a professional? The way he answers questions during the 2025 NFL Combine, or the fact that he has been coached by the exact same person his entire football career. People don't think NFL organizations wouldn't show pause because of that, Cowboys Nation? And I seen a post on X saying, well, Eli Manning was able to refuse the Chargers. What's the difference with him and Shedeur? Well, the difference? Eli Manning was already drafted to the Chargers. He went number 1 overall to the Chargers, and the Chargers were good sports, and they traded him to the New York Giants. Kind of like the New England Patriots were good sports when Joe Milton got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Milton III being a black man and all. Was the NFL racist towards him? No, they weren't, Cowboys Nation. And let's not get it twisted as if there's no racial undertones when it comes to the NFL, because I believe there are. But in this situation, no, there were no racial undertones. It was just the simple fact that you're Deion Sanders' son, and you have been Deion Sanders' son. When will you step out of the shadows and become Shedeur Sanders and not Deion Sanders' son? Shedeur's high school coach, Deion Sanders. Shedeur's coach at Jackson State, Deion Sanders. Shedeur's coach at Colorado, Deion Sanders. Well, Shadur, you know that your dad can't be your coach when you're going to the NFL. And the thing is, I believe a lot of teams didn't want to deal with Shedeur Sanders for the simple fact that Deion Sanders was putting stipulations as to if a team was going to draft him, that this had to happen, that had to happen, this had to happen, and that had to happen. What NFL organization is going to want to take that on? What NFL organization, what NFL team is going to want to put that on their team? Because they know that when they draft Shedeur Sanders, they are drafting the circus. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Browns' reaction of drafting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round.
Our message to him is really all of us. Like, look, you got to come in and work, and you got to come in and compete. And that's the message. Nothing's given.
Cowboys Nation, I have nothing against the Sanders family. I am thankful for what Deion Sanders did for the game of football. I am thankful for what Deion Sanders did to sports in general for people that look like me, because Deion Sanders was the epitome of a sports figure. He was kind of like Michael Jordan to me, even though he wasn't on the Dallas Cowboys until 1995, where we won that Super Bowl. He was a sports figure to me, whether it was in baseball or whether it was in football. I have absolutely nothing against Deion Sanders. And the only reason why I didn't want him to come to Dallas is because I didn't want Jerry Jones to tarnish Deion's legacy. It wasn't anything to do about the coaching and if he could get it done and stuff like that, but I know how this front office operates, and I know that they would not help Shedeur Sanders or Deion Sanders accomplish the Super Bowl accomplishment that we all are looking forward to. So it's nothing against Deion Sanders, and this is nothing against Shedeur Sanders. The thing that teams are looking for within this NFL situation, they're looking for accountability. They're looking for you to be your own person. They're looking for Shedeur Sanders to step out of the shadows of Deion Sanders and become his own man. This is kind of something that we go over with the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys are always looking to the 90s Dallas Cowboys instead of forging their own legacy. Shedeur, you have to start forging your own legacy and step out of the shadows of Deion Sanders. The umbilical cord has to be cut. He is going to the NFL right now, and Deion Sanders is staying back to coach the Colorado Buffaloes. That means you will be having a new coach. Are you coachable? Can you be coached by somebody other than your father? Everybody knows. Anybody that played Pop Warner football had that person that was the quarterback of the team, and guess who the quarterback's father was? The head coach of the damn team. Even though you had somebody better on the sidelines, and I'm not saying that Colorado had a better quarterback, but in those Pop Warner situations, even though you had a better quarterback selection on the outside, you go with your son because it's your son. Forget who's better at the position. The coach is going to put his son in the game more often than not. And I know NFL organizations are looking at this, and they're going to be like, is this man a team sport? Is he team Cleveland, or is he team legacy? That's the thing that they're going to be looking at. Are you in it for yourself, or are you in it to win it with the entire organization? And if you got to ask that question, Cowboys Nation, then I would have pause in drafting him. But as far as this being racially motivated, and it's racially motivated against Shedeur Sanders, y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta look that man in his eye and have him accept accountability for the way he acts on and off the field. All the Rolly stuff, all the podcasts, and I know everybody and their mama got a podcast when it comes to the NFL right now, but what is more important? If they have that question before the draft, then you're going to fall in the draft. And I know NFL organizations are looking like, can you let go of the flashy lifestyle? Can you do nothing but focus on Cleveland Brown football or anybody who drafted him? Can you 100% put all your effort into this organization? Are things on the outside going to make a difference? Will Deion Sanders, your father, make a difference? Will the bling blinging and stuff on the field, will that make a difference, Shedeur? These are the things that these teams are looking at. It's not the fact that you're black. It's not the fact of anything like that. And I believe, honestly, that people like Skip Bayless, you're throwing the race card out there. Throw the race card when you see a black man that's getting beat by the cops for absolutely no reason. Throw the race card when a cop sicks the dog on a black person that's laying on the ground, already gave himself up, and still allows the dog to bite him. Throw the race card on that. You're going to throw the race card because a man wasn't drafted in the first round? Come on, man. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit, Cowboys Nation. Real talk. But this is how I feel. This is my Raw and Uncut. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What do you feel about my take on this whole thing? I could go on for hours, Cowboys Nation, because I feel that the race card should not just be dealt out in any situation. Right now, we're living in a time where looking like me, being a black and brown person, gets you more negative points than it gets you positive points. We need to conserve our race cards. We need to keep those race cards in our sleeves. We don't need to use it every time something doesn't go our way. And we damn sure don't need to let talking heads like Skip Bayless play the race card for us. But y'all know how I feel. I want y'all to do me a favor. Let me know how you feel about this whole situation in the comment section. If you're digging this content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans and help the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast and YouTube channel reach 10,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video and please share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, because in doing so will help us with the algorithm and get us out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. But if you are DC for life and wish that Shedeur Sanders has the best career that he could possibly have, possibly bringing the Cleveland Browns a championship, unless you're facing the Dallas Cowboys, then I wish nothing but disaster for your team and us to win the championship. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, or Madden 25 or College Football 25 gameplay. I have absolutely nothing against Shedeur Sanders. I believe that entire prank that was played against him in this last draft, that was some bullshit perpetuated by some people that were probably jealous of him or jealous of his name. But the thing is, Dion, you gotta cut that umbilical cord. Shedeur, when your dad comes up to you and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, son, I got this, you need to remove his hand, look back and say, nah, Dad, I got this. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Y'all, we're going to go live and talk about this a little bit more. We're going to do that. Also, I need you guys to keep my grandmother in your prayers. She went in the hospital during this whole draft situation, and that's where my attention was. That's why you didn't see me going live. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.